Hello, and welcome back to Northern Lights. Oh, we got to see Devon's house. That's where he is a rich lad. That's kind of neat. Oh well. As the three of us head back out into the larger driveway, Devon walked an older-looking motorcycle out of the drive. I'm just making up words. Garage, carefully fitting his ears through his helmet. Oh, that's kind of cute. Do we get to see it? No. Damo. Do you remember that scene in like episode 7 of Gargoyles season 1, in which Brooklyn had to like poke holes in his helmet to fit his horns through? I always thought that was kind of cute.
Oh, Dev, when you see Mistia tonight, ask her if she wants to go camping in September. Yeah, I will. It would be nice to get one more in before fall really sinks its teeth in. See you later, Devon.
It was nice meeting you. The drive back to town seemed shorter than the first. I was rather excited about seeing the national park. Though the town was strikingly beautiful on its own, I wanted to see what the area around it looked like, mostly unspoiled by the workings of a man. Smiling, Aldrich soon turned onto one of the side roads, one that seemed to head straight towards one of the mountains.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm Park Ranger Aldrich, and I'll be your guide today.
What are you doing?
Please hold all questions until we reach our first landmark. And remember to do your part and leave no trace.
What a dork. He's cute. I'm not easy, you're easy. The truck meanders? Yes. Further down the road, and soon enough, we pass the entrance sign for a Split Peak National Park, slowing to a stop alongside an attendance booth. A lanky female sable ferret stepped out, smiling at the sight of the shepherd, before she gave a nod and her hat in my direction.
Afternoon, Ranger Tracy. How's attendance today?
Numbers are picking up a bit, getting in some early leafers? Early leafers. 2 of the campgrounds are full up. Who's your friend?
Goodness, how rude of me not to introduce my tour group.
The shepherd chuckled, looking over at me with a toothy grin. His act filled me with warmth and rather felt like he'd fit right into one of my movies if given the chance.
This is Cody, a novice backpacker in the making.
Howdy, miss. I hope you don't mind a simple southerner otter taking a gander at the local flora. As I spoke, I went hard into my southern accent, hamming it up to the level of a stereotype one might find in movies that didn't have a single southerner actually working on it. Tracy rolled her eyes, and I played along with Aldrich, the shepherd's tail thumping gently now. Right, nice to meet you. Well, go on through. Have a good time, you two. We pressed through into the park, past lots cramped with cars. That's what that is. Okay, a 2-story log building for tourist information, with what was likely a small museum section inside, soon turning onto a main loop of the road that would take us deeper in. Look at the size of the trees here. They're incredible. I'd moved away from Aldrich just so I can look out the side window with greater ease as he kept driving.
Welcome to Split Peak National Park. Established in 1890, it is the 3rd oldest national park in the country. Revered for its nearly 2 million acres of forest, prairies, lakes, mountain ranges, and valleys. Over 100 mixed-use trails, numerous hot springs, 2 hikeable cave systems, 3 for spelunking, and plenty more.
It's really that big? You could get so many Nolans here. New Orleans.
Hey, you could spend a decade here and still not even see even half the park.
He'd finally broken out of his official ranger voice, chuckling a bit as he cut on the radio to some country music, then glancing at me.
I'm not really sure which place I should take you for the first visit, so I'll let you decide.
Ah. Oh, but wait. But Ghost Town. I like Falls, but Ghost Town.
Bannock Basin, it is.
The drive to our destination was fairly long, and I was starting to get a scale of just how overwhelmingly massive the entire national park was. We pulled into a paved parking area marked off for the park staff. So we won't get in trouble? Won't we get in trouble?
Nah, I'm practically hired already. They just can't officially employ me until I've gotten a foresting degree.
We hopped out the truck, Aldrich stretching his arms to the sky with a happy sigh. The tree line was thin here, the main road behind us, busy with visitors driving by.
Come on, it's not far. I think you'll love it.
He led me along a well-treated path, with branches and occasional trash cans scattered by. I could often hear a small rustling of wind blowing through trees and bushes, bringing along the fresh scent of nature. You really seem at home here.
Guess it is like a second home to me. A place to get away from the town.
What's wrong with the town?
Nothing really. Nothing really wrong with it, but it's like I'm always working. Every local knows me since I work on my folk store. It didn't help when they started using my high school wins to promote sales.
He sighed a little, ears lower for a moment, glancing away.
So, a lot of the locals, even my folks, don't really get why I wanted to be a ranger. All they want me to go. Wait, they all want me to go pro.
So, did I? Okay. Whoops. I just hit the button too early. So, Devon and I are not the only ones with parents that want to control our fates. The shepherd chuckled softly, his ears perked up as we continued the trek.
I get to be my true self in the forest. Talk with tourists at Park Ranger. Talk to tourists as Park Ranger Aldrich. Rather than score big with Aldrich's quarterback picks. picks.
Wait, they're really a marketing line they use?
Just one of many over the past couple of years.
From the sunken look in his eyes, I could see how much it truly bothered him having so many see him as nothing more than a state champ. Well, I think you're going to make for a great park ranger.
Thanks, Cody. Come on, we're almost there.
As we rounded a bend in the trail, we left the rest of the trees behind us, finding ourselves in a massive open field, treading steadily downwards towards what looked like a ghost town. A genuine slice of the Wild West left behind by the march of progress. Oh, okay.
Welcome, Junior Ranger, to Bannock Basin. Basin. One of the several ghost towns in the park, and unfortunately known for being the least successful during the gold rush.
There weren't many structures left standing, mostly stone foundations and collapsed chimneys. The center of the town was the most defined part, with edifications on every corner, appearing mostly intact. Almost intact. Oh well. Surrounded by scaffolding. What's with all the scaffolding?
Historic preservation. The area kind of went to hell during World War II. Park really wasn't getting the money it needed to maintain things. It used to look a lot worse, trust me. Half the buildings in the square there had collapsed, but everyone's doing what they can to respectfully restore them to an almost original state.
What do you mean respectfully?
Hand tools, old techniques, done safely of course, but in the spirit of true pioneer construction.
I couldn't help but admire the effort. Much as I liked seeing places in a dilapidated state, there was something admirable about trying to restore something with the same techniques used to create it. Man, just look at this place. It'd make for a great set piece.
Oh yeah?
Without a word, I started running away from Aldrich, excitedly charging towards the town center. Come on, Slowpoke! The shepherd was quick on his feet, catching up to me with relative ease, running alongside, laughing with glee. Now I was the one giggling, but with excitement as I found myself in the town square, surrounded by the ancient structure. A good spaghetti western was admittedly one of my favorite genres. Just let me think for a moment. I'll help you picture it. Wandering around the town square, I would occasionally press a paw against the wooden slates of one building, the old glass of another, leaning inside what looked like an old saloon, and taking a deep whiff of its musty scent. All right, got it. Walking over to Aldrich, I grab his paw. He grips back rather firmly, but it wasn't painful, just comforting. Lean up against this banister here. Trust me.
All right. Reckon I could do that for you right quick, partner.
The shepherd tried his best to talk like a cowboy, and though he wasn't terrible at all, it still caused me to chuckle. Now, close your eyes until I say so. Well, okay. Oh, once he did, as I asked, it was my time to shine, excited to work on the penultimate scene of a potential movie with him around. It's hot out today. There's a distant scent of a sweat from labor. Not far from here, you can hear the sound of a blacksmith. I picked up a rock and raked it a few times against some of the scaffolding. The saloon is starting to get busy, full of heavy drinking and dirty card games, and a fight ready to break out at the drop of a hat. The shepherd's ears twitched, as though he was managing the noise of a crowded saloon, his nostrils flaring as he took it in the fictitious, that's what that word is, hopefully. The fictitious scent. But it's just another day in Bannock for Sheriff Aldrich. Just the heartbeat of the wild town you swore an oath to keep safe. Silently, I walk out of sight, picking up a sturdy board. I chucked it and let it hit the ground with a heavy thud. Aldrich's eyes shot open. Okay. Watching me as I stood in an aggressive stance, one paw hovering over my sides, ready to grab an imaginary revolver. I thought I told you to leave town, Sheriff. Bannock belongs to the Tannerson clan. I glanced left, then right, at two imaginary brothers in crime backing me up. You're no stranger to the Tannerson clan, just two brothers at first, who'd have been growing into a formidable posse as they kept on taking control of mine after mine. Gregory Tannerson, the eldest brother, stands before you, roaring for a fight, backing up by his younger brother and Constance Withers, fastest rifleman in the West. So, what do you say, Sheriff? Are you going to get walking, or should be coffin maker take your measurements? The shepherd stepped away from the banister, heading towards me with heavy steps, ready to grab a fake revolver from his left side.
You Tannersons aren't welcome here.
The shepherd seemed nervous about his choice of words. I expected as much, considering we were slipping into some improv. This isn't your town anymore, Sheriff. Idle threats won't save the day. I flexed my finger, letting them twitch, showing how antsy I was to draw my gun and shoot the sheriff dead. Take it all in. The saloon's gone quiet. Patrons crowd the windows to watch the standoff unfold. Even the smith has stopped and watched from down the way. It's just your conviction and loyalty to your oath that stands between a town of order and a town of chaos. Can you really shoot faster than the Tannerson clan? Don't be afraid. Look around you, Sheriff. Surely something can give you the advantage. What will you do? Aldrich's eyes darted around, taking in the environment surrounding me, a grin creeping across his muzzle.
Behind you. Looks like a rack that used to carry barrels.
His observation made me smile. He'd picked up on my intent when I worked over the scene. Aldrich suddenly dropped to the ground, gun drawn, shooting the rack with precision, barrels careening off, steamrolling my posse. Another quick shot, and he'd struck me through the knee. I dropped to the ground with a fake howl of pain, moaning in agony as I writhed in the dirt, looking down at my knee that my makeup work would make a grotesque mess of. Aldrich then stood up and walked over with heavy steps, pointing his gun at my head.
You'll see the noose for this, Gregor.
Curse you, Sheriff! Curse you and your whole line! Yeah, your whole line! I hawked a wad of spit at the ground. With the deed done, the patrons of the saloon burst out onto the street, cheering your name, raising glasses in your honor for taking out the leader of the infamous clan. Bannock Basin is safe, for now. Aldrich laughs and offers a paw, helping me up from the ground. Chuckling, I kept hold of it, and made him take a bow with me for the imaginary crowd.
You really came up with all of that on the spot.
It's a little heavy on the cliches, but yeah. Didn't think I could pull a western out of my ass. That was fun, though. Maybe seeing a ghost town like this was all the inspiration I needed.
Man, if that's what you come up with so quickly, I just know your movies will be amazing.
I helped Aldrich brush dirt off his clothes, and he did mine as well, though my whole body tensed up as his paws grazed across the base of my rudder. Rudder? I gulped nervously, but it was over in an instant. Are the other ghost towns still intact?
Not really, no. You'll find old cabins scattered about. Bannock is the only one that's still mostly here. All of the other towns just kinda scavenged each other.
No, excuse me.
As they fell by the wayside, one after another.
Reckon it were the Wild West after all. Fortunes and loyalties as fleeting as leaves in the wind.
There's actually an old cabin, a ghost cabin, at the camping spot we frequent, really close to a natural hot spring.
Well, let's get going. Is it haunted?
Nah, although Dev sure does try his best to convince me otherwise.
He chuckled, giving me a soft pat on the back, that tail of his slowly beating back and forth.
I got something else I'd like to show you, before we head back to town, if you're interested.
Sure, just let me let me sketch a couple things real quick. As I set about producing my sketches of the town square, while drawing marks for what would be good backdrops, Aldrich leans up against one of the buildings, watching me warmly.
Thanks, Cody.
Stopping in my tracks halfway down the length of the saloon boardwalk, I glance over at the shepherd, rounded ears raised. For what?
Coming to Aspen Hollow.
Kinda majestic, if I think about it. I might not have been thinking of you at the time, when looking at schools, but there was a warmth to the name Aspen Hollow.
You think that's the only reason you chose to come here?
Honestly?
Obviously.
I couldn't really place my finger on it. When the guidance counselor started helping me find colleges I might be able to afford without loans, Aspen Hollow jumped out at me. It felt like there was an ember in my soul, rekindling, a warmth I'd known before. It felt safe, inviting even. Tobin and Liam kept trying to get me to pick somewhere closer. I just couldn't get this town out of my head. Like it was calling me. I suppose no force, but in heaven or hell, would have talked me out of the notion, even if it did sting knowing how far I'd be.
Well, I'm glad you did move here. I think we're going to have an awesome year.
It didn't take me long to finish working out a rough idea for my next film, as I drew out the last few marks over potentially good backdrops. New journal entry! I want to click it. Oh my god, that's a lot. That's a lot of things. I don't want to read that. Oh, well, maybe we'll read it at the end. Who knows? Who knows? Getting the camera equipment out here would be easy, though finding enough college students willing to act in a movie, filling out the space with life, now that was a challenge. Oh, oh, footsteps. Uh. Well, I really did a whole sound thing good. But all right, everyone, I'll end the part here. So I'll see you guys around.